was when I was in high school and would see girls and wives talking about how they were in these abusive relationships, and I would get mad and turn the TV off and say, they're so dumb and stupid, why don't they just leave? Not knowing that I would have myself in that exact same situation a few years later. And so the first incident, basically we were out of town. There was a Greek picnic that was in Philadelphia that they used to have with the black fraternities and sororities. And Peter and I said that we would meet up there, and I went up there with my girlfriends. One of my girlfriends liked to go to various activities, so we went to the celebrity basketball game that she had gotten us tickets for, and basically she also liked to use her assets to get what she wanted, to show herself off, and basically she met this guy that took us backstage to introduce us to some of the celebrities. And I can remember us coming out, and the guy started to reach for my hand as we were getting ready to cross the street, and he was basically saying, why don't we go look for the rest of your girlfriends and we can go to my car. And so in my mind, I'm just like, I don't know you, I'm not going to your car. But then I also thought about, on the other hand, my girlfriends always called me grandma, that I needed to loosen up some. And so I was contemplating whether or not I was going to loosen up, but when I looked up and saw who was across the street, who do you think was over there? Peter, along with his brother, who was from New York, some other guys from New York, and his brother had a friend that had a camcorder who was actually recording me walking across the street. And so once I walked up to him and said hello, he said, what's up? And everybody kind of scattered. And later on that night, when I met him at the hotel where he was, I walked in, the room was dim, and he told me to sit down. I sat down on the couch, and basically he was calm, and he was just like, you know, Kimba, what was going on earlier today? And I explained to him what had transpired, and all of a sudden he basically was calling me all kind of dumb B's, and basically he said, you don't even know what was getting ready to happen to you. And he starts explaining how the guy that introduced us to the celebrities was a limo driver, and the guys that he was standing across the street with had instructed him to go in, find two girls, and take the two girls to a hotel, and those guys were going to force sex on the two girls that they brought to the hotel. And so immediately when he says that, my natural reaction was, you know, that wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have gone to a hotel. And when I started explaining, he started telling me, well, I'm going to show you what would have happened. And he started beating me on my body and strangling me to the point where blood vessels had popped all over my face and in my eyeballs. And so afterwards, I remember kind of being in a fetal position, scared to move, scared to react. And he started with the I'm sorry's, and, you know, he didn't mean to do it, but, you know, basically he made it seem like he was trying to teach me a lesson. And so in my mind, I had it that as soon as I get away from this nut, I'm never going to see him again. But then he went to go get some ice. He came back in, and he started crying in my lap, saying how he didn't want me to be afraid of him. And even still, I wasn't sold. It really wasn't until the next morning when I went to my friend's parents' house, because that's where my friends were, my other girlfriends. And when I walked in the house, you would have thought one of my girlfriends would have said, with my shades on, would have said, girl, oh my gosh, what happened to you? Did he beat you? But none of my girlfriends said anything to me. And so I think that's when embarrassment and shame, because here it is, my close girlfriends, and they didn't even acknowledge that they saw that something had actually happened. But one of the things that I realized hindsight was that two of my girlfriends have been in abusive relationships, so of course they wouldn't have said anything. So on the ride back from Philadelphia to Hampton, I basically had made up my mind that I was going to stay with him until my face had healed up, and that I was going to, you know, go back to class afterwards. But, you know, anyone who's been in an abusive relationship, please make sure that you don't listen to the I'm sorry's. You run as fast as you can out of that relationship. And one of the things that you need to realize is that abuse is not just physical.